So, it has been about 8 months since the last episode. And, I don't know. I don't know what to explain other than I'm going to give a quick recap of everything that's happened in those 8 months, at least, like, to a standpoint to where it makes sense where I wasn't recording. Well, I mean, okay, there's no excuse. I should have probably had, like, 3 episodes posted by now, but oopsies. I just forgot that I had a podcast. So I started this podcast in 2023, I think. And in that, in 2023, I was I think early junior. I think it was an early junior in high school. And if you do the math, I graduated. And so right now I'm actually in my second semester as a freshman in college. Somehow I actually got to go to college. I guess they weren't, or I guess they were lying about your footprint actually matters, because mine sure didn't. Well, at least I don't think it did, because they sure as shit didn't find this podcast. Hey! No, but I went to university. I don't know. I just did university things. Did schoolwork. Partied. I don't know. I did university things. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Other than... So, yeah. I don't know. I kind of grew up, went to university. Yeah. I also got to go to LA for the first time. That was really cool. That was actually pretty awesome. LA is not that bad. They actually kind of lie to you. If you actually talk to anyone, they're like, oh, LA sucks. Yeah, they're not wrong in some aspects. Like, yeah, it's so expensive to live there. I was actually seeing about... excuse me. I was actually planning on seeing if I could, like, what would it be if I wanted to go to UCLA Law School, because, like, I want to go to law school, and so figuring out a place to go to law school would be pretty cool. Well, I looked at there, and rent there for, like, a single-person apartment was, like, $2,000 a month, and that's, like 5 miles from UCLA campus, so that makes sense, but, like, it doesn't get better. Like, it's a lot of money per month. Just, yeah, cost of living there is bad, but, like, you also, the way you get paid is pretty good, I think they're, like, minimum wage is actually, like, a semi-living standard, and not only that, a lot of jobs there, from what I understand, pay over that minimum, so that's really cool. But yeah, I went to LA. That place was pretty. It was really awesome. I actually went in January, so it wasn't like freezing cold, but it wasn't also like burning hot. For some reason, LA was in like 50, 60 degree weather while I was there in January, so that's pretty cool. I got to go to the observatory, of course, I don't even remember the name of it, but it was really cool. I got to see out the telescope, got to see the moon, and you could actually see like the craters on the moon, so that was actually really cool. And then I'm trying to think what else I took public transport the whole time I was there. That was the coolest, I think, part about the trip, was getting to take public transport, specifically because, like, it was cheap. I think I spent $25 on public transport alone on a 4-day or 5-day long trip, which is really impressive, because if I, like, wanted to take Uber or anything, it was going to be like $300 for the whole trip just to Uber everywhere, which is absurd. Yeah, no, I took public transport everywhere. Of course, like, I probably could have gotten more done had I taken, like, Uber and stuff like that, but I think with what I got done, I was actually pretty content with, especially because, like, taking public transport, you actually get to see, like, just bits and pieces of the city from the windows of the bus, and you also get to experience the public transport, which, like, some people would be like, oh, well, that's bad, there's tweakers, and they're not wrong, but I only encountered one, and it was on my trip back from, like, it was on my way to LAX on my final night. My flight was at midnight. Actually, this is a really crazy thing. I had a flight scheduled for 11:59 p.m., and I would get back home on Monday. So I was leaving on a Sunday. I'd get home Monday. Well, Spirit Airlines would have a different opinion to it all. And instead, they canceled my flight, and they would have said, oh, well, if you want another flight back, it's going to be until Thursday. well, me being a university student, I had to get back to campus ASAP. So I was like, oh shit. I was like, hey, I'm gonna need a refund on that. I can't do that. I was like, I gotta get out of here. And they're like, okay, well, we'll give you a refund. I booked a flight through United. When I tell you that United is probably the best airlines to ever exist, believe me, they are heavenly. They left at midnight Monday morning. I was back at O'Hare International Airport by 4 a.m. No, wait, time zone, 6 a.m. It would have been 4 a.m. like Los Angeles time, but it was 6 a.m. their time. Or 6 a.m. Chicago time. So I was actually super happy to get back home in not home, but get out of that western area in such a short time. And thank you, United Airlines. This is I'm not sponsored by them. If they ever want to sponsor me, though, go ahead. I'll plug your guys' mileage program or whatever. That was really awesome. The other thing I got to go is, after leaving high school, you get to learn that you can be yourself in college. High school, people would make fun of you for liking certain things. I know there was, of course, certain kids in high school where it was that kid likes anime or something like that. And then a lot of kids would kind of bandwagon on them and or not bandwagon on them, but put the hate on them. Which, I mean, I won't lie, I did that too. That kid likes anime. What a loser, and you don't hit him with that kind of thing. But of course, as you get into college, you realize that kind of thing just doesn't fly anymore, and that people are allowed to be themselves. And if you bully in college, if you bully someone for being themselves, you're gonna get bullied back. You'll just get bullied back because you have to understand, to bully someone in college as a grown-ass adult, you have no life. You have no joy and whimsy in your life. A famous saying, to be cringe is to be free. And they weren't wrong. Anyways, what I was getting at is on my LA trip, I actually went to the Persona Live concert, which that was super awesome. I actually played all the 3 mainline games that are easily accessible nowadays. I played 3, 4, and 5. And then they announced right around my birthday that they are doing a tour in the US. And it was only in LA for 2 nights. And I was like, oh man, I really, really, really want to go. And I actually talked to my mom. I was like, hey mom, I'm gonna spend money on this. And she's like, yeah, that's okay with me as long as it's your own money. And I said, yeah, well, it's gonna be my own money. And then I was like, oh Lord, I was like, man, I was like, whatever. I spent the money and I went because I was like, I'm sure as shit not missing out on this. Yeah, they might come back and do another concert in a year or so, but this was the first ever American tour. And I was like, man, I gotta go. So I went. I actually did it was actually a really awesome time. There was, I actually have a lot of photos from it. I can't post any of them, or at least I can't show any of them on the channel because it reveals who I am. So if there's any randoms watching this, I'm sorry you don't get to see such a cool experience. Point is, and if you do follow me on Instagram, you would know about the California trip because I posted about it. And if you didn't see those, you're a fake fan. Anyways, point is, I actually got to go, and I dressed up as one of the characters from Persona 5. I dressed up as Sojiro Sakura. He owns a cafe in the game, and it was really awesome because I was like, man, this is like cosplay stuff, and I was like, that's a bunch of nerd stuff, and I was like, you know what? I think it's really cool though because I'm not gonna be the only one, and sure as shit, I wasn't the only one. I actually have so many photos with different people from the games. It was really awesome. I have photos with Joker from Persona 5. I have photos from all of C's, which is really cool. I'm trying to think. I just have a lot of photos from it. It was really awesome. I actually made a really good friend. And so if you're watching that, you're still a really good friend. And it's really cool because we actually still message on Instagram all the time. And so, yeah, thanks for being such a good friend, especially because, I met you in California at a McDonald's. And it was just so surreal. And yet here we are. We're still talking to each other almost every day on Instagram, which I respect because I think it's really cool. Anyways, point is, it's been a really busy 8 months in a way because I've actually had to be an adult. So that means I actually have to take care of myself and I don't have meals prepared for me every day by my own, mom. Shout out mom. She also makes me meals, or used to make me meals when I lived back at home. Shout out. But no, I actually have to kind of take care of myself now, which, I mean, take care of myself lightly because I do have a dining, like a meal plan here. So I just have to go to a dining court and I get food served to me. But, I mean, it's never going to be as good as Mom's. So again, so shout out, Mom. Point is, I've been kind of talking about really like the past few months that I haven't really been, I guess, talking about anything fun and exciting. I mean, I guess I am fun and exciting, you know, because it's really cool to hear about me. Right, viewers? Anyways, I'm talking to myself, really. Anyways, point is, it is really cool in the past 8 months, like, actually getting to experience being an adult, but at the same time, it is one of the most miserable experiences. I don't know why. I have a 9 o'clock class, and I can never wake up for it. I don't understand why I can't, but I struggle. And it's really hard, because, like, I should be able to wake up for it, but I don't. And it sucks. But the point is, being an adult is kind of cool. And being free is kind of cool, because, like, again, I've also been kind of exposed to a bunch of different things in life. Like, yeah, you know, you make fun of that kid in anime, watching anime, but then one of my best friends just kind of introduced me a while back ago to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'd say that's a solid 10 out of 10 anime, especially because it was the new part is coming out, Steel Ball Run. I don't know how, like, terminally online a lot of my viewers are, but if they know me, they know that I talked about that to some of you guys, and yeah, Steel Ball Run is really good, and I got so mad that they delayed it that I started watching or reading it online. Like, I found a website to read it, and I started reading the manga. And yeah, I don't know. But like I said, to be cringe is to be free. And of course, I've met a bunch of different people here, really nice people. They're all different, like interesting, like different in their own way. But I still have my best, you know, some of my best friends from high school here with me, so that's really cool. But yeah. You know, I did want to bring up, I guess this topic of this newest video is I don't know how to word it, but I almost want to say online hustlers is the best way to put it. And this was actually given to me by one of my best friends. I told him, this is actually not the first recording of this new episode. The first recording is kind of in limbo because it sucked. I liked it in a way, but I also didn't like it because it wasn't good. And so I was like, oh man. And he was like, yeah, dude, there's been a lot of online hustlers recently. And he's not wrong. Online hustlers have been a thing for dozens of years. Oh, okay. They've been around for quite some time. I mean, the best example I can give you for online hustling is Hustlers University, started by Andrew Tate. Yeah, that one. That's an online hustling, like, thing. And it sucks, because of what it is it's a course to scam its viewers out of money, and the money of the person that runs the course, or the pockets of the person that runs the course, is then lined by this person. Or by, like, the viewers. It's absurdist, it really is. And so, you know, my buddy, love him to death, has been trying to find that quick way out, you know, make a bunch of money and to be able to retire at the age of 25 kind of methods. And, you know, I respect it. I wish I could do the same. Or at least, you know, have that money to be able to just kind of chill. Or not chill, but, like, be able to easily live comfortably, you know, pay off law school or pay off my undergrad loans. You know, you get the point. Point is, you know, he's been, like, talking about all that. And then I was like, man, this first episode sucked. And he was like, you should bring that up because, you know, trying to get rich quick, you know, is not really a thing. And anyone that promotes it is actually just trying to scam you, because usually the way these videos go is like, especially like modern now, a lot of these videos are like, hey, you know, here's how I made $7,000 today just day trading. And they show this video of them making money, and it's like, wow. And then, of course, all the people in the comments are like, dude, how did you do that? How did you make $7,000? I want to make $7,000 in a day. And so, of course, the person's like, oh, here, I'll send you the link to my course. And the moment you hear link to my course, or at least the words my course, or just course in general when it comes to the world of trading, you should instantly know you're about to get scammed. Like, you're about to lose $400 because you decided I'm going to I'm going to sign up for this guy's course, and he's going to tell me how to make this money. No, he's just going to take your money, and then he's going to be like, okay, so I'm going to be honest with you, I just got really lucky. Because I'm going to be honest, there is, or at least in my, like from what I've seen, there is no method to day trading. It's all purely luck. I mean, yeah, it's some market knowledge, but like, buddy, if you're just signing up for a course to hear what this guy's going to tell you, he's just going to be like, look, I got lucky. I did it once. Yeah, that's about it. $400 down the drain. And it's actually kind of funny because, again, there's just been an uptick of these because of the stupid stock market right now. The stock market right now has been so volatile because of the war in Iran. Conflict in Iran. We're not allowed to call it a war because it's not a real war, and if it's a real war, it's constitutionally wrong because it wasn't actually declared, and then that would mean that our president was actually acting out of line. But if it's a conflict, everything he did was right and acceptable. Anyways, point is, quick deterrence. Kind of pissed off about the gas prices. I also went to Canada over spring break. I'm just gonna pause in the crypto. Oh shit, that's the next piece. I went to Canada on spring break with two of my best friends actually. Why am I calling them better friends? They're some of my best friends. I got a lot of best friends though because each one is like unique in their own way. Anyways, I went to Canada over spring break. Had a lot of fun, but we drove the trip there, which was really cool. It was like a really cool road trip. Anyways, we get back into the U.S. and it was right as the war started. So gas was like $3.20 when we left. When we got back to the States, gas was $3.99 per gallon where we were from. So it was like a 70-cent increase in gas prices. And of course, it's because of that stupid war that no one wants to partake in. And the crazy thing is like, oh man, you gotta sign up for the draft because if you don't sign up, like, well, there's a chance that like we might actually get drafted. Brother, I am not going to fight in this war that some billionaire wants me to die in. Like, I'm not gonna fight for the interests of the billionaires, dude. Let alone, I'm not gonna fight for the U.S. Army because of an illegal war. Like, no way, dude. I'd actually rather sit in a podcasting booth talking for like 42 hours or 72 hours straight, doing a 72-hour podcast with like no food and water because like I'm not gonna die in some war for some billionaires. Anyways, point is like, oh man, this war has made this stock market so volatile recently. It's crazy. And so you'll see videos of like people being like, oh, the SP 500 is going crazy, and yeah, they're not wrong. Like, you'll see some crazy fluctuations, but of course these online marketing influencers are always trying to find their next big scheme, and this was the greatest time for them to do it. And so of course they profit. Like they start these courses and then they advertise, yo, you've seen the stock market recently, and look at what I was able to do with this crazy stock market. I just made $10,000 off of shorting this one stock or something like that. This could be you. Just think, this could be you. If you short, like if you follow my course, you could make $1 gazillion in less than 365,000 days. Now, it's really funny because they are actually kind of straightforward with you, and I do respect that because they're like, yeah, this method does take a while. You know, you'll make thousands of dollars, but you won't make hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, which is what people want. You know, they want that $1 million a day kind of method. I hate to tell you, little Jimbo, it's not coming because those $1 million like methods are so rare. Anyways, point is, the way that they make these like a lot of their money, or not a lot of their money, but they make a decent sizable chunk of their money is by scamming people through courses that actually give you nothing. And I really want these people, if you're enrolled in one of these courses, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. You've just lost all your money that you've spent on that. And then, you know, there's probably like steps to the course where it's like, okay, if you want to do step 1, pay me $100. Step 2, pay me $200. You know, and it's like, hey, pay me more. Like, I don't know. I've never actually partaken in one of these courses because I'm not stupid enough to hemorrhage money on a stupid course. It's going to just never actually allow me to remake the money that I'm going to spend on it. Some of the courses I've seen, though, are like $3,000. absurdist. And it makes you wonder, like, oh, okay, well, like, if they're charging $3,000 per person, 10 people sign up for that, that's $30,000 right there. Like, you make a fake course and $30,000 later, like, it doesn't matter if you just scammed people. Like, your conscience won't care. You just made $30,000. That's a brand new car. Like, no. You get, like, 20 people, that's $60,000. Well, like, $60,000, that's like a down payment on a house. I think. I don't know. I don't know where you're living, so maybe not a down. Anyways, point is, you know, and like, let's also kind of jump back into the time travel machine to the great year of, like, 2020. I think it was 2021. No, when was I a freshman in high school? 2021? 22? Somewhere around then. Anyways, point is, back when I was a freshman in high school is when NFTs started becoming a thing. Yeah, we're going to talk about cryptocurrency. When I tell you that cryptocurrency is the biggest scam in the world, I mean it. Because I don't care that the paper money may cease to exist one day. There is no way you can convince me that your Skibidi toilet coin will actually replace you, like, actual monetary, like, paper money in, like, the next 70 years. Maybe once I'm dead and 6 foot under the ground, maybe it'll replace it, but I don't see that happening for another, like, hundreds of years, or at least 100 years. I mean, give or take. I can see cryptocurrency becoming a thing, and I've seen, like, some places actually, like, accept Bitcoin now when you, like, pay for stuff. It's, like, very rare though, especially because, like, one Bitcoin is like $72,000, and so, like, if I go to a gas station and get, like, a Snickers bar, which is like $2, $2.30 for a king size Snicker bar or something. Actually, I think it's like $3 and something cents. Anyways, it's like 0.00001% or 1 Bitcoin for one of the Snickers bars. And honestly, I mess with it. I'd give them, you know, oh, how are you paying today? I'll pay with Bitcoin. All right, sir, here, just insert your Bitcoin card. I don't actually know how to pay with Bitcoin. I've never actually used cryptocurrency because I don't believe in it. And that's actually kind of funny because, like, there was a lot of scams and, like, influencers at that time too. I mean, NFTs, those are, like, the new, like, the next crypto thing because, NFTs are these non-fungible tokens and this picture is one of a kind. And, if you have this one, then you're probably one of one. No one else has this, but, you could quickly see that it doesn't matter because a picture of a stupid, like, something just doesn't really actually hold monetary value. And I remember it with those stupid monkeys, and people would, like, screenshot them on Twitter and other places because who cares? Your stupid little picture, your PNG, your JPEG doesn't actually hold monetary value because I just screenshotted it and now you no longer have a one of one. And yeah. It was stupid. Cryptocurrency was the dumbest thing that a bunch of people actually fell for. Again, Bitcoin makes sense. I actually don't really understand the story of Bitcoin, but I can agree that it makes sense because it was the only one that was successful. Ethereum's also there. And again, I don't understand where Ethereum came from. It just kind of came from the pits. But again, it was there. And it was... I mean, it works. Both of those work. But anything else, like a lot of those other cryptocurrencies, don't work because they don't make... Like, no one understands them, I don't think. And it was really funny when, like, Hawk to a coin. Yeah, Hawk to a coin. That was actually a rug pull. And, people lose their money. And, you know, I've actually been debating, you know, because, again, I was talking to my friend. It's like, man, how do I make a bunch of money? And I was like, you know what? What if we just rug pull people? What if we make this fake cryptocurrency? Israel coin. Oh, boy. I can't even begin to start with that one. Gotta be careful so this video doesn't get, like, demonetized or copyrighted because if it does, then it's never gonna make any outreach. Point is, what if we start Israel coin? Sell it off to a bunch of people. Market it off like thousands of coin or billions of coin. Market it off at $1 a piece. You know, if all those coins buy, that's 10 billion market cap. And then we just take all $10 billion. Make, like, bandits and yeah. Anyways, point is, rug pull scams are actually the most obvious thing, and if people fall for them, I genuinely can't feel sympathy for them because you have to be stupid to fall for a rug pull. I don't understand it. The other thing was, like, when I was in high school, it was like, man, what do I do? You know, I was talking with one of my buddies in high school. You know, I actually wonder what happened to this guy. Maybe he is actually living through our plan, but it was like, man, we need to get rich quick. And we're like, what if we make NFTs and just market them at ungodly prices? Yeah, that was an option. But then his option, actually, I think it was both of our options, really, all kind of came down to one thing. Why don't we just scam the elderly? Yeah, that will do it. I actually don't know what happened to him after high school. He actually graduated a year early, and so maybe he did end up scamming the elderly. Either way, I hope he's living lavish. Yeah, but these online influencers are stupid. Not influencers, but these like like these hustlers are stupid. There was actually one. I actually remember this one because I saw a video on it. It was the like alpha male boot camp. And what it was it would like, it would take, like, you would pay, I think, God, how much was it? Let me actually look this up. Jamie, look that shit up. How much was the alpha male boot camp? Man. I remember it being quite $18,000 for a 3-day experience. Yeah, $18,000. And what it was is like military level boot camp. And it was actually kind of sad because you see all these men who want to be like, I'm an alpha male, I'm the strongest of the pack. And like what they do is they gather all these men who are like mentally, like not mentally, like I wouldn't say mentally unwell, but they're definitely not in their right headspace because they feel like their masculinity is like in danger. And so they go to this 3-day boot camp and they get absolutely like tortured. Like it was like borderline torture, more or less. It was more of like a military experience where they like made them go through like military drills without actually going to the military. And like there's videos of it online, and it's actually really funny because it's like you paid $18,000 to get like this like alpha male boot camp, but you could have just gone to the military for free. And in fact, they would have paid you to go to the military, and you would still have your dignity. And you would have gone through this alpha male boot camp for free. And like I said, you would have gotten paid. Hell, they might have actually given you like a free car or something, you know? But no, these guys they were like, oh, I'm going to become, like, I want to show off my masculinity, or I want to become more masculine. And what's really funny is in the end, who was the most masculine? It was actually the people scamming. Because if you felt like if you signed up for this thing, you weren't masculine. You were actually just like a loser. Because what person pays $18,000 for a 3-day experience to just get bullied? Yeah, it's crazy that some people actually fall for these hustling scams because they're not real courses. They're, in the definition, a scam. And I hate that people will be like, oh, no, it's legit. No, it's not legit. $18,000 for a 3-day experience to just get bullied and harassed by, like, other grown men it's not a course. What does that teach you? Like, what are you learning? You're learning nothing. You're not learning anything. And so, like, in the end, these poor guys lost $18,000. They weren't more of a man than when they went in. And then the dude that did it came out laughing because he just made like thousands of dollars. In fact, I think if he had 10 contestants, which I think it was like 10 plus, like you had 10 plus, that's $180,000 right there, and now you're raking in the money. $180,000. That's a down payment on a house. Actually, that's enough to buy you a house. And well, no, I think that's a down payment. I don't think you can really buy a house for $180,000 in this day and age. Thanks, Joe Biden, because he's currently the president right now. So I'm just going to blame him for everything that happens, especially those gas prices. If you thought I was actually blaming our current president, no, it's Joe Biden's fault. Anything and everything is Joe Biden's fault. It can never be our glorious president's fault because no, it's Joe Biden's fault. Actually, no, I actually met Joe personally, and I was talking to him like, man, I was like, in these recent days, I was like, man, prices have been pretty bad. I was like, do you know who's at fault for this? And he looked me dead in the eyes, and he's like, Cringelord 6842. I'm going to be honest with you. It was my fault. These prices are my fault. And I was like, thank you, Joe, for admitting it. You're a good man. And then he wanted to get some ice cream, so we went and got ice cream. I think he got chocolate chip or whatever. I don't know. I respect it, though. Thanks, Joe. He actually bought my ice cream for me. I was actually really kind. I got cookie dough. Anyways, yeah, so he looked me in the eyes, though, and he was like, yeah, it's my fault. And I was like, thank you for being honest with me. I've been going on about these stupid-ass crypto courses, or these stupid online hustler courses, that I've kind of just lost my mind. The other thing is just kind of like, again, we all want to figure out how to get rich quick, but in the end, a lot of getting rich quick comes with the cost of something. Because nothing in this life comes for free. And I'm gonna use that as like a motivational speaking point, because nothing in life comes for free. So if you think you're actually getting something for free, it's not actually free. There was actually something that came, like labor was put into it, which makes it no longer free because it was a person's time that was put into that. Or you get the point. Point is, like, nothing comes for free. So getting rich quick never comes for free. You either have to basically like lose it all and then win it back, or you either get extremely lucky, but you still have to put some of yourself in there. Whether it's like you got to sell a kidney, or you actually just, I don't really know how to put it. You just, the kidney's the best thing I got. I don't know what else to tell you. Point is, it's really crazy. And then, of course, I actually forgot to think about this. In the 8 months I was gone, they actually kind of like dangled it. Like, you know how like in Minecraft you can make a saddle and you can put it on a pig, but then you can also get a carrot on a stick. And you can like ride the pig and tell it where to go. That's kind of how we felt in this past few 8 months, especially with those Epstein files. Let me tell you about those. You know, we were promised that they would get released. Well, they kind of did, except all the pages were blacked out and you couldn't read anything, which is kind of funny. And then, of course, people found that, oh, hey, if you actually just highlight it, like if you go on your web browser and you just kind of like click over it and all that, it's actually just. It's black text with a black highlighter, which means it's not actually fully redacted, because once you highlight it, you can actually read what it says, which is amazing. I mean, let me just tell you. Oh, man, I'm tired. I did not get much sleep. Point is, let me tell you about this current administration. It's full of incompetency. I'm talking FBI director. When the famous podcaster passed away, you know, he was actually like second place to me. I'm like the best podcaster. He is second place, but you know which podcaster I'm talking about. Shouldn't have to say his name. When he passed away, though, this FBI director, who is of like Indian/Hindu, like he's a practicing Hindu apparently, tells a Christian man that he will see him in Valhalla. Valhalla isn't Christian, nor is it Hindu. And so you have this FBI director telling this guy that he'll see him in Valhalla. Okay, whatever. That's interesting. And then, of course, the next few like months, videos and all that, you see him go into the men's locker room at the Olympics because he got invited in quotation marks. I guess they just kind of said that he found himself there. He was absolutely coked out of his mind, though. I don't think I've seen an administration though where they actually are accepting of this. Like the guy that's the Department of War, the guy that runs that is a raging alcoholic. Buddy, if you're a raging alcoholic, you probably shouldn't have like command of all these like troops. And let alone, you could probably get like these college students to do your job better. And some of them are raging alcoholics. This guy just doesn't know what he's doing. He sucks at his job. I digress. I'm just saying, like, a lot of these people are extremely incompetent. Hell, they could have hired me and I would have done a better job. Could you think of, like, Cringecast 6842 actually getting to run the Department of Defense or whatever it's called? Well, it's called the DOD. But now it's the Department of War because they want to, like, you want to talk about the word LARP? these guys are LARPing as like these alpha males, but they're really, in reality, they're a bunch of losers with a power fantasy, and they're not succeeding at it because a lot of foreign countries think we're a joke, and in fact, Iran won't take us seriously, which is really bad because we won a few wars against them in the 90s and like 80s. Why aren't we winning this one? Yeah, no. Well, anyways, point is, online hustling is definitely an experience of all time, or not an experience of all time. I can't say I've experienced it yet, but it's definitely a thing of all time. And I definitely think that you should do it too. I mean, you should try to online hustle, because there will definitely be some sad sap out there that will actually fall for it, which I respect. Because, like, if you can get someone that's not smart enough to, like, get that, well, go ahead. Go ahead, get those sad saps. Make them pay for what they've done, which is nothing, and that's why they should pay. Anyways, point is, just start an online course, get $1 bazillion, and then just cash out, enjoy your life in the Cayman Islands or wherever you want to go, and yeah, be happily ever after. I also want to say that it's been a while since I've done this, and I've missed it. You know, once I return home, back to my home, when I get back from university, I think I'm going to do more podcasts. I really miss this. This has been a lot of fun, but I want to do it again. And of course, I also like it when my viewers leave lovely comments on my videos telling me nice things about themselves, or telling me about how good of a job I did, because I know I did a good job. Now, of course, if you watched all the way through, again, you're a true fan, and I love you for that, because again, you're goated. But, point is, it's been a while since I've done this, so this video may not be the best, but it's definitely going to be a good one, I'll tell you that. Anyways, I also wanted to make one special announcement. I'm starting an online course on how to be the best podcaster in the world. Yes, me starting a course on how to do podcasting, because I'm the best podcaster in the world. In fact, I've made $1 gazillion off this podcast alone. Yeah. Anyways, if you want to join my podcasting course, it's only $750 for the one-time subscription fee. Of course, you can put that on a payment plan through Klarna, or you can put that on a payment plan and have that paid off. I'm starting a new podcasting course for a one-time payment of $750. All you need to do is pay that $750 off, and of course, I'll teach you the ways of making thousands of dollars through podcasting. Of course, if you can't pay that $750 up front, there will be a credit plan allowed through Klarna or some other money borrowing website. And the interest rates will be as low as 3% per month. So, of course, in the end of it all, hopefully you pay it off relatively quickly. But if you also need to take out a loan to learn how to make this, because again, I'm telling you, like, if you take this course, you'll make thousands and thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars, and it'll make you rich being a podcaster, which is something that I enjoy doing. Again, I've been collecting paychecks since I started the first episode, and that first episode netted me $30,000. That could be you. All you have to do is join my course, and I'll teach you how to do it. Again, remember, the payment. You can also, again, if you can't, like I said, if you can't afford it up front, crediting plans are allowed. I will accept, again, one good crediting platform is Klarna, and they totally are not a predatory loan borrowing website. So again, if you need something, definitely look to Klarna to get the money that you need to buy out on my course. Also, there's other websites where it's like they'll or not other websites, but there are like companies that will give you money. Like they'll give you your paycheck if like you get paid bi-weekly. They'll give you they'll pay you weekly. like you'll get your week 1 check from this company, and then of course you have to pay it back. But the point is, like, you just get your paycheck from this company in advance, and then you use it to buy my course to become the greatest podcaster ever known. Because again, I'm that guy. Anyways, yeah. Link to the podcasting course will be in bio, of course. Don't be surprised if it's a GoFundMe link. That just shows that you've donated to the cause for this course. Anyways, I'm running out of time. I actually got to pack up and get ready to go because, of course, I'm not recording at my usual equipment. I'm actually using some high-tech stuff. I'm using the podcasting booth that my university has. But, of course, it's actually on, like, a rent kind of thing, so I got to get ready to pack up, and I got to get ready to go. But it's been fun filming this episode, and if you made it all the way to the end, I thank you so much, because it truly shows that you're a true fan. And again, if you're a true fan, though, you won't forget to sign up for my course that is not a scam and will make you a millionaire. Actually, a gazillionaire. You thought Elon Musk is rich being a trillionaire? Nah. I'll make you a gazillionaire. Anyways, that's all I've got. Look for, definitely, if you want to keep seeing and listening to my beautiful voice, definitely pay attention for live streams over the summer. I'll try to do some live streaming, of course, and I'll try to do more podcasting. But again, thank you for watching. I love you. Bye.